Hey, welcome to another episode of How To with the Caribbean Gaffer, powered by 13 Degrees North Rentals. In this series, we'll be taking a deep dive into the audio and visual sector across the Caribbean and looking at how we do what we do right here in the Caribbean and how we can help you increase or improve your production value. Now, my name is Kurt Dawson. I've been involved in the film and video sector for over 20 years. And with that knowledge, I'm here to talk to industry experts and share a lot of knowledge with you. From grip to light to sound, you name it, we'll be discussing it within this short series. In this episode, we'll be looking at the how-to of the C-stand. This right here is just a basic C-stand. Now, this C-stand is actually a turtle-based C-stand. Why is it called a turtle-based C-stand? Well, this C-stand, you can actually remove the riser and just be left with the base. Now, there are other C-stands that you cannot remove the base off it. And those are pretty much like this one right here. This is called a sliding leg C-stand. All right, now with this C-stand, this leg moves up and down. And this is good for when you have to put things on a stack or on an apple box or on even surfaces. You have your sliding leg C-stand, yeah? The C-stand generally comes like this, but then to complete the C-stand, you have to have a head, 40-inch arm, and then the 40-inch arm has another head, yes, or grip head, right? And this now would be your C-stand complete. So many might want to know why the name C-stand. Now, back in the day, this stand was actually designed to hold a flag that was 100 centimeters in diameter. 100 meaning a century represented by the letter C, hence giving rise to the name the C-stand. Instead of a century stand, just shorten it to a C-stand. Now let's get to the opening and closing of the C-stand. Now for me, I generally like to flip the C-stand upside down when opening or closing, but always make sure there's nothing behind you or anyone behind you when you're going to open or close it. So closing the C-stand. Now, this is what the C-stand looks like closed. Now I generally tell people, always move the short leg and then the big leg. Try not to move the middle leg, because some people get all twisted when they start to move the center leg. So just move this short leg and it slots in. There are little slots right here that this will lock into once it's open. All right, and then that slot is right here. And there you have it. Now there are some C-stands that you literally can just hold and press and turn, and those open nice and easy and smooth. Now, when setting up your C-stand, or you have a number of C-stands on set, what the general rule of thumb is to always point your short leg towards the set, and then any other C-stand that you bring in, put the large leg over that short leg and to the right. So it's always easy to grab and go. So if I was to bring in the next one, I would slot the big leg over the short leg again to the right, and I'm always able to grab my C-stand and move without any impediments whatsoever. Now let's get into how to set up your C-stand and to get into the number one rule of setting up your C-stand, which is called the righty-tighty, lefty-loosey rule. Now with a C-stand, you should always make sure that once you're standing behind the stand, your knuckles are to the right hand side, so that way anything that you put in here, as it locks, this is going to lock off, right? As it falls, as the weight hit it and it falls, it's going to lock off. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So you always make sure that your grip heads are to the right. And then these, which I like to call knuckling, are to the left of the stand. It is not in every single scenario that these are going to end up to the right. Sometimes this may end up in front, and then you may have to put these to the right side, but this may be in front. However, we generally try to keep everything uniform so that all the knuckles are on the left and the grip heads are on the right. Now, once you get into doing this and it becomes a basic practice, you should never go wrong. Always remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Now, you always want to make sure that your large leg is pointed to where the weight of whatever it is you're going to set will be, so that once you put a flag in or anything in this grip head, just let me show you a perfect example. If you have a flag, this is a 2x3 flag, the weight always goes towards where the large leg will be. Yeah? So that way the stand doesn't tip. The weight is centered over the large leg, and you know this will be safe and secure. However, as it relates to safety, a C-stand is never complete without its friend, a sandbag. So once you put weight on the stand, always make sure and drop a sandbag over the legs to stop it from tipping. And remember, the sandbag must never touch the ground. If the sandbag is touching the ground, it is not doing its job. Yes, so you always make sure anything you're going to put weight on a flag, make sure you always have a sandbag to go with it. When handing the C-stand to anyone, always make sure that your hands go on the outside of the C-stand. I can say that again. Always make sure you're holding the arm and the razor when passing this off. Do not put your hand in between here, because somebody could come and grab it from you and they will squeeze your fingers in grabbing it. So always make sure you're holding the arm and the razor when passing this off to anyone. Now, the last trick about the C-stand is always safety. When assembling the C-stand, sometimes you may have some flags that you may want to put like this, and then you have this sticking out on set. This is not safe. Always make sure and put a tennis ball or some form of reflective material at the end of your C-stand, so that anybody walking on set will always be able to see it and they will not walk into this part. Yes, so always remember that, safety first. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the C-stand or the Sentry stand. Now, I don't want you to miss any of our episodes, so I need you to subscribe to this channel and to follow us on all social media platforms at 13 Degrees North and 13 Degrees North Rentals, or follow me personally at the Caribbean Gaffer, as I show you the how-to of production and help you to make your productions better. See you in the next episode.